Welcome to Now Hear This. I'm your host, Chris Spangle. Now Hear This is a conversation with leaders in Indianapolis that are working to improve the lives of Hoosiers. Our goal is to empower you to join in their work and make a difference while informing you about the unseen aspects of life in Indiana. If you miss an episode, you can listen via podcast at nowhearthisindy.com. We are continuing our conversation with local restaurants who are making a positive impact through the COVID-19 pandemic. As you know, the restaurant industry has been hit hard through these shutdowns, and there are several of them out in the community that are doing great work, and one of them is Taste Restaurant at Lucky Lou. And I have the pleasure of speaking to Caisy Lunn. Caisy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, where's the restaurant? What is the restaurant? Give us some details about where you're located and what you do typically.
Yeah, sure. We are located in the northwest area of Indy, so we're at 3623 Commercial Drive. We are a Chinese restaurant that serves dim sum, authentic dim sum. So far we're the only restaurant who serves dim sum in the whole city. We also serve authentic Cantonese food, and we're just a family-owned business, and we're passionate about food, and we're passionate about introducing people in Indianapolis to the art of dim sum.
Now, Caisy, I am an uncultured boy from Plainfield, Indiana. So can you explain to me what dim sum is? What is Cantonese food, and what is that different? How is that different than what I may have normally experienced?
Well, for dim sum, I like to tell people dim sum is like tapa, so like appetizers, right? In the Chinese version of it, if you will. So mostly it's made out of, meats and dumplings and they're served in small portions. So what we do that's really unique when, we're not in lockdown, it's every weekend we roll out the appetizers out in steaming dim sum carts. And we go around the restaurant to every table, and the customers can have the fun of ordering the appetizers from the cart, steaming hot, live. So it's actually, for us, dim sum in Cantonese culture it's an epic event on Sunday. I think in a lot of Eastern culture, maybe we're not great at expressing our feelings in words, so we express our feelings in food. And so being around family at a table on a Sunday, eating and talking hours on end is how we really create unity and harmony in our family. So it's definitely something that's very close to home. And our customers, have said the same thing, that it's a very engaged activity when you have dim sum. Our food is good, so we've heard. And they really have a good time, participating in this activity.
Well, expressing your feelings through food instead of words sounds very familiar to the way I grew up. So that's beautiful. Yeah. That's great. So, we obviously faced a crazy situation 4 weeks ago. What were some of the first thoughts going through your mind, and how did you start process what you might do as we entered the pandemic?
Yeah, that's a very profound question. I think, like everybody else, the uncertainty, especially having to limit our service. And, I think the first thing that crossed our mind is, how are we going to survive? And then I think the next thing is, we still have to go outside. We're considered essential businesses, right? So, how are we going to stay safe, But, my family is Buddhist, so in Buddhism, there's a saying that, the harder the wind blows, the more you can see, the strength of the grass, right? So, we really wanted to take this challenge on and really be determined that we're going to overcome this together, and just not give up. And, so far so good. We've struggled a lot. We ran into issues with our landlord, with being able to make rent, quite frankly, we're still struggling, but, our determination is, we'll continue to show our care and hopefully offer some encouragement to the people of Indiana and Indianapolis through our food, and we're going to hang in there as long as we can.
So I want to ask a delicate question, because I've seen in the news that some Chinese restaurants have taken the brunt of some unfortunate comments. Have you experienced anything like that? What are you experiencing out as you're in the community delivering food?
Fortunately for us, we have experienced nothing but kindness. I mean, I think, we hear a lot of, these instances profiling Asian Americans, businesses and individuals a lot. So, the concern is always there, in the forefront, of our minds. But, for us, we've had customers who, would drive 2 hours from, other parts of the state to go. And they would leave saying, we just want to support you. We want to see you survive. We've had so many of those instances of kindness that actually, I think the flip side of that conversation is, while there is a lot of perhaps hatred, a lot of fear, a lot of frustration, the flip side that we've been seeing, people have been incredibly kind. The people of Indiana have been incredibly kind to us. So we have nothing but appreciation, for everyone.
That's great. That's good to hear. We were talking to Caisy Lunn, who is of Taste Restaurant at Lucky Lou. What are you doing differently? How are you adapting your business to operate in this new environment? What are some of the things that you're doing differently, and are you giving back to the community in any way?
Yeah, so what we're doing different is we're trying to get creative with our menu. So we're trying to constantly think of meal pairings, that we can offer soon to the public. We're also thinking about ways that we could maybe like freeze our dim sum, for instance, or maybe like get frozen dumplings out so that, people can buy in bulk and they don't, have to just come and get fresh food. They can have food that they could like prepare themselves, from our restaurant. So these are some of the things that, we're getting creative about. We're also introducing new dishes, too. So we haven't stopped doing that. And some of the things that we have been doing with the community. So my mother, who is the co-owner of, Taste Restaurant at Lucky Lou, she wanted to give back to the medical professionals because, she can really see that they're risking their lives more than we are, and trying to treat people who have COVID-19 while sacrificing, their own safety. So what happened was, we recently started our Instagram account. I've been following this one young woman, and I didn't know that she was a nurse, but I think about like 2 weeks ago, she posted a picture of her in face mask and a hospital gown. So I discovered that, she's actually a nurse. So we reached out to her. It turns out she's a critical care nurse at Community North. And she said that, she's actually 26 weeks pregnant, and she's been working 87 hours a week because,
Wow.
They are so overwhelmed with, just normal patients and people who are, coming in and afraid that they have COVID-19. That post moved us so much that, we reached out to her and just said, I don't know, it's so small, right? But can we give you like a free lunch because you guys probably don't have time to think about food? And she was so appreciative. So my mom was able to deliver, lunch for the day for her department. So, that's something that it was really small, but it was like absolutely our honor to do that.
That's great. So if are you doing more of that? Can people help participate in providing lunches if they get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that we're thinking about. We definitely want to do more in the coming weeks. So, I would say people can look at our Instagram. That's where we post all of our updates. So our handle is Taste Dim Sum. And they can also check out our restaurant website, which is tasterestaurantluckylou.com for any updates on, donating food to medical workers.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us, Caisy Lunn. Again, give that address for your website.
Sure. Our website is tasterestaurantluckylou.com.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for listening to Now Hear This. I am your host, Chris Spangle. If you missed any portion of our program, you can listen on our website, nowhearthisindy.com. If you'd like to have your organization featured on the show, please contact Gabby at 317-475-7407 or via the contact page on our website. Thanks for listening, and we will be back again next weekend with Now Hear This. Our goal at the Chris Spangle Show is to help you sound smarter while talking with your friends. If you struggle to understand politics, we explain it from an independent, libertarian perspective with all of the irreverence modern politics deserves. We toss out the screaming heads and put people before political parties and give context to the news to make you think. I'm the host. I'm a 15-year veteran of politics and media, and this show is published every Saturday. It's part of the We Are Libertarians network, and be sure to join Wall Plus for bonus podcasts, the complete archives, commercial-free shows, and more. Subscribe now at wearelibertarians.com.